Winter driving tips, drivers. How are you? Old guy 379 here. Today, I want to get a little more serious than I was last night in my video on truck maintenance, and then it digressed into a pretty lengthy rant of me going off on drivers and their hygiene habits. You know, I do believe it's totally an item that needed to be addressed. It was not really done tongue-in-cheek. I'd had enough of it yesterday. I'd seen so much garbage yesterday from drivers and things that are happening that I just needed to bring it out, man. I needed to get it off my chest. And you know, if it offended some of you guys just because of the content, not necessarily because of what I said, you know, I apologize. But it's there. I'm not going to take it down. I did find some humor in it. It makes me chuckle a little bit that I was so worked up over it. But anyway, today I want to talk about winter driving. You know, we're still in the heart of winter. We've got about 3 more months up north here. You know, it's January. Typically, we're in this until the end of March, first part of April. I'm going to start off with clothing. Protect yourself, guys, when it's cold outside. I know there's a lot of you guys that are from the southern part of the United States. You wear shorts all year round. You know, sandals, flip-flops, whatever, low-top tennis shoes, ankle socks. Hey, that's fine. You do you. But wearing that kind of clothing up north when the temps are down into the teens and 20s and 30s below zero, you can end up with some major problems, man. You can end up losing limbs, losing fingers, losing toes. Due to frostbite, you can end up dead. Plain and simple. Hypothermia is a real thing, and it can happen so fast, faster than you even know. You know, I'm big into outdoor stuff and camping, hunting, fishing. You know, even in the springtime, you fall into a lake that's cool and the water's down around 60, 65 degrees or colder. You can die from hypothermia from that. You know, so just imagine yourself when you're running around in shorts and you're freezing to death. You know, you may have a big giant parka on and have your work boots on your feet, but your legs are open and your hands are uncovered and your ears are uncovered and you're losing all the heat out the top of your head. Man, I know you guys get a lot of crap from other drivers. You know, you should be wearing boots and jeans and a flannel shirt and look like my grandpappy did, whatever. You know, look at me. I wear a sweatshirt. Sometimes I wear dress shirts. Sometimes I just wear a t-shirt. You know, I just always try to be clean. I try to keep my beard trimmed down, you know, try not to let everything go, take a shower, that kind of thing. But let's get back on subject here. The fact is, you need to buy yourself some long pants and some long underwear, get a good heavy coat, some good gloves. Make sure you pack plenty of blankets with you in your truck. Good warm work boots. They don't necessarily have to be insulated, but they should be waterproof. Keep your feet dry, because if you're out working and getting sweaty and your feet sweat and they get a little damp and then you get out in that below zero cold, your feet are going to freeze. So number one, warm winter clothes, you know, cold weather gear, however you want to call it. Being from up north, I'm originally from eastern Washington, about 30 miles north of Spokane. Lived in Billings for a good chunk of my life, and now over in southeastern Montana. But I've run all over the Northwest, BC and Alberta, for several years. And, you know, there's nothing more important than making sure you have that gear with you all year round. I have been in Alberta in the summertime when you wake up in July and you're sitting at 6,000 foot elevation and it's like 18 degrees outside overnight, freezing your butt off. And then all of a sudden, you know, by around noon, it's up to 92 degrees. So you need to be prepared all the time. Make sure you got a lot of water with you. Make sure you carry some food with you. Make sure you carry some food that doesn't require it to be heated. You know, bread, lunch meat, tuna fish, things like that. Peanut butter, you know, some high protein, high fat stuff. Because you can end up getting stuck out on the road in bad weather like that. Number 2, make sure your truck is ready for the winter. Make sure you topped your coolant off. Make sure that the coolant strength is where it should be. Make sure you got extra oil with you, extra coolant. fuel additives. Make sure your fuel's treated. If you're coming up north from down south, and then the last time you fueled was somewhere down around I-40, man, stop somewhere, fuel up, get your tanks full, and put in, some power service or, whatever FPPF, whatever fuel treatment you use. Again, like I said in one of my other videos, I really like power service. I think it does a good job. And anytime it starts dipping below about 20 to 10 degrees and below, man, I treat my fuel. I don't even take a chance with it. I just do it automatically. And same with the reefer. Make sure your truck's in good mechanical condition. If you got a bunch of check engine lights and stuff and you're headed north, buddy, get into a shop before you get up here. Let your dispatch know, let your broker know, whatever. Get your truck fixed. Number 3, learn how to drive on icy roads. I see so many guys out here, and a good example was yesterday coming over 4th of July and Lookout between Idaho and Montana. When you come out of Spokane, headed east over across I-90, the roads were getting a little crappy. Not horrible, but they were a little snotty coming off the Montana side of Lookout. Guys driving like 8 miles an hour downhill. It's too slow. There is a point, you hear guys all the time, oh, you can come down off a hill too slow too many, every time and be just fine. But, you come down too fast just once, it can kill you. Well, there's some truth to that statement, but there's also a lot of truth to the statement that when the roads are icy, there is a point of being too slow. One, because if you're coming down off the hill and you're going so slow that you can't keep your wheels rolling, you risk putting yourself into a skid and a jackknife. 2, you're a hazard to people who are moving at a safe-ish speed. A lot of times I probably drive faster than a lot of you guys do, mainly because I'm from up here in the north and I'm used to the weather, and I know the limitations of my truck, and I can read the road conditions pretty good most of the time. So I might be running along at 50 or 60 when you guys are doing 30. If that's the case, stay in the right lane. Don't try to pass anybody. Just stay there till you know for sure the left lane's clear. And then when you go to get by somebody, get by them. Don't hang out there and lollygag around. Make sure your tires are in good shape. If you got tires that are down there, 6 and 4/32 seconds tread depth, really need to get some different tires on your truck. Make sure you have a good set of tire chains. And you're going to need, like, for coming into Washington and Oregon, Montana's not as picky, but Washington and Oregon are really picky. You need a set of 3 railers, and some guys call them triples, some of them call them doubles. It's essentially 2 sets of single chains put together into one. They call them 3 railers because there's 3 rails that run between the 2 sets of cross links. You need a full set of those, and you need at least a bare minimum of 2 sets of singles. 2 sets, so that's 4 chains total. And learn how to put them on. Put them on where the weather's nice, the roads are dry. Find a parking lot, practice putting them on and taking them off. I'm going to do an instructional video. Probably, I'm going to try to do it this week before this weekend rolls up, and get that out just to show you guys how to put chains on. Because, man, sorry, I was eating banana chips. I got pieces still stuck in my teeth. There are so many guys out there, even guys that have been driving for a long time, that don't know how to put chains on. And then I know there's the guys in the comments who are going to go, oh, well, if it's bad enough, you don't need, got to put chains on. You don't need to be out there. It's too dangerous to drive. Well, that's all convenient if you're on a load that gives you that kind of time frame. But, back when I was hauling produce, and being from the Northwest, guess what? We didn't get to make that excuse. You call it, well, I don't know, the roads are bad. I got to put chains on. They'd be like, so put chains on, get your butt here. It's just part of what you do. You can't always just sit around and wait for the weather to be perfect. If you want to wait for the weather to be perfect, then stay down on about I-10 and run east and west. And I'm not being a jerk. I'm just saying, if that's what you want, that's where you got to be. You got to be where the snow never flies. But tire chains, learn how to put them on, learn how to take them off. Run slow with chains on. I saw a guy yesterday, man, had to be doing like 45 miles an hour with his chains on coming over Lookout. And I'm like, and on wet pavement. I'm like, man, you're just asking for trouble. You're going to tear stuff up. You're going to end up ripping a hole in an airbag, gashing a tire, ripping cross members out from under your trailer. Because when that chain comes undone and the crosslink breaks and it starts whipping around, it's going to do a lot of damage. Those tire chains are only meant to be run, say, on really hard packed snow where you've got deep snow underneath your tires and the chains are running in the snow. Maybe 30 miles an hour, maybe. A good rule of thumb is to try to keep it down around 20, 25. They're not meant to go down the road fast. If you're running on hard compact snow or on ice, those auto socks I hear are pretty good. I have never tried them. I have run cable chains. Cables are good, especially if you're not in real deep snow. They're lightweight, they're easy to put on, but again, you can't run fast with them. You got to run slow. But yeah, definitely tire chains. Make sure you're draining your air tanks. All these trucks have drains on the air tanks to drain the water out. Especially in the wintertime, you've got a compressor pumping out hot air into a cold air tank, and when hot air and cold air mix, when they meet, they make condensation. So you end up with water in your airlines. That can freeze up brake valves and all kinds of stuff, and really freeze open air dryer purge valves. So make sure you're keeping your air tanks drained and keep your air dryer serviced. When I was at the name of the company I was with was Diversified Truck Leasing, and I'm gonna throw a little plug out to them. They're here today at the end of this video because I had them do the service work on my truck. I know the mechanics there; they all work for me. But anyway, we did a winterization service, is what we called it. So every single truck that came in, we went through once a year. We checked the coolant capacity, for its ability to freeze protect, and if it was even questionable, we drained it out and refilled it. We serviced the air dryers, we serviced the truck, checked all the oil and grease and everything, all the oil and all the differentials, checked the hubs, all that, and just generally went through the entire truck to make sure that it was ready for winter. And we may do this in the summertime even, just to make sure, that it was done. So make sure you're keeping those components up and in good shape. The other thing, windshield wipers. Man, make sure you got good windshield wipers. Carry an extra set with you. And the reason why I say that is because I've had it happen to me where I've gotten enough ice built up on my windshield wipers that the blades actually broke off. And it can happen in real wet, heavy snow. I've actually had the windshield wiper arms on a couple different trucks over the years break off on me, and that's a lot of fun, especially when it's a driver's side one, and then you can't see because you can't get your window clear. Rain-X again is still a good idea on your windshields, even in the wintertime, to help ice build up. What else? I'm kind of running out of things, but. Just make sure you're always prepared. That's the big thing, drivers. Make sure you're prepared. Oh, winter driving tips, as far as actual driving goes. So if you're going over a mountain pass and you're pulling the hill and the road's kind of questionable and it's a little slick and icy, that's where you want to be in a gear where you can keep your RPMs up kind of high, 1800 RPM. And the reason for that is, should you spin and you have to let off the throttle a little bit to regain that control, to let the tires stop spinning and get some grip and take off again. If you're down 1200 RPM and you have to downshift, you're probably going to spin out and end up stuck on the hill. Keep your RPMs up higher. Coming down the hill is the absolute opposite. You want your RPMs to be low. You want to get them down there around 1300 RPM. And the reason being is, if you start to skid a little bit, you can give it a little throttle and get ahead of that and keep your wheels rolling and go straight. Come down off the hills about 5 miles an hour, maybe a little bit more slower than you would on dry road, maybe even 10. That way it gives you an opportunity if you do start having some squirrely issues and you need to stay ahead of your trailer so you don't jackknife. You're not going so fast that you're going to end up out of control and either crash and burn or take somebody else out with you. And you can run your Jake on icy roads. However, you need to be aware of how slick it is and make sure that there's some sand on the road. Most of these trucks have 3-stage Jakes. In the wintertime, I like to run mine on low to medium. If I can tell that it's not that bad and there's some good traction, I got a lot of sand on the road, things like that, I'll run my Jake on high. A good rule of thumb, of course, though, is don't run it if you think it's icy and it might cause problems. So there's the qualifier with that. I do run my Jake a lot in the wintertime. But again, that comes with experience and knowing when I can and when I can't and when I shouldn't. Don't use your cruise control if the roads are crappy, especially, when you're running over a lot of overpasses and stuff. The roads might just be wet, but the overpasses are icy, and inevitably what's going to happen is your cruise control is going to decide all of a sudden, oh, you're slowing down, we're going to give her the juice and put the onion to it, and then you're spinning tires and going sideways. And then you tap the clutch or the brake and you freak out, and then a Jake brake comes on, and next thing you know, you just got a big mess, and you're a one truck circus going all over the road trying to get back in control. Don't do that, okay? Reserve the cruise control for good roads. And when you're navigating icy roads, especially on passes and everything in the wintertime, look for where the dirty snow is. That's where the traction is, not the shiny black stuff where everybody's had their tires. That's icy. Most of the time, that's where the ice is. If there's snow off to the right a little bit towards the center of the lane and the right off the shoulder, even if it's clean snow, it's still better than that ice. The snow has grip. Ice does not. And if it's dirty snow, all brown and gross because it's all full of sand, even better. Sometimes you may have to move over and hug the zipper a little bit, the dotted center line. Just make sure you're not holding anybody else up when you do that. Move back over. If somebody goes to go by you, don't panic. Just keep doing what you're doing. Maintain control. Make gentle, easy movements when you're making lane changes. Make them nice and smooth. If you're having to turn, make nice, smooth turns. If you're downshifting, upshifting, be nice and smooth with it. Don't just cram and jam, because you're going to end up causing a problem and you're going to have a wreck. Or at least, if nothing else, you're probably going to need to stop and clean your underwear out and wipe your seat down. So those are my driving tips, drivers. If you have any others, I'm not going to get into the whole, well, if you start doing a jackknife, you need to reach down and pull your Johnny bar and stand on the throttle, blah, blah. That's all, that doesn't always work. And unless you're really experienced, like running off-road in the dirt, hauling logs, please don't put that stuff in the comments. I've been doing this for a long time. I've heard all that. And most of the guys that have told me that over the years have jackknifed at least one or two trucks in their life. So save that one, because I don't believe it. Can you use your brakes going downhill when you're driving on icy roads? Absolutely. Just be very gentle. Again, like I said, make sure when you're coming off the top of the hill, say if you're fairly familiar with the area and you can come off of some of these passes at 45 miles an hour, come down them at 35 or 30. Start off the top a lot slower. Give yourself that extra leeway to be able to correct an issue should it start. Truck driving, in my opinion, is not hard, but there is a lot of common sense to it. And there's a lot of skill involved. These are things that you have to learn over time that you're not going to get right off the bat. So, drivers, man, I appreciate you. I was going to tell you, go see my friends. They're at Billings. If you're ever through there and you need work done, at Diversified Truck Leasing, DTL. They are a member of National Lease. National Lease, if you don't know, is actually the oldest and largest truck rental and leasing company in the country. They've been around longer than Ryder and Penske. In fact, when they very first started back in 1942, Ryder was a member of National Lease at the time. National Lease is made up of, it's not a giant corporation like Ryder and Penske. And I'm throwing their names out there because they are competitors, but and they do a service very similar. They do all the same stuff. But I'm very fond of National Lease after having been involved with them for the last 4 years. National Lease is kind of like a co-op that's made up of about 134, 135 separate companies with over 1,100 locations nationwide. And when you deal with those local locations, you're dealing with local people. One of the issues I had, I actually drove for Ryder back in 2009, late 2009, clear up through 2015. And it was a good company to drive for, but everything goes through Miami. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You have a location manager you kind of deal with, but when it comes to anything with the trucks, it all goes through their corporate office in Miami. When you're dealing with a national lease member like Diversified Truck Leasing, you are dealing with them locally, and they have a lot of local connections that you wouldn't normally have. So, if you're ever in need of a rental truck, go see my buddy Jeff over there. He's the one that took over my position as general manager. If you need service work done, I'll put all the links in the description, the names and phone numbers and everything. Go see David, give him a call out in the shop. David's the shop manager. David is probably, and I'm going to brag on him a little bit, he is one of the best mechanics I have ever known in my entire life. He's a young guy. He's like 32 years old, but he's worked for DTL since he was 16. He started out sweeping floors, cleaning trucks, throwing garbage out. He's very sharp. He's Detroit certified. He's got some Cummins certifications, Thermo King Reefer certified. Guy is super, super sharp, and he's got a crew there. Man, we had a great crew. And I'm going to name all my mechanics that I had there: Cameron and Keenan and Waylon and DJ, Logan, who we hired right before I left, Tony, another good guy there. All these guys have lots of experience. Mike, he was our resident reefer guy. Mike's been to Thermo King school, and I know he's going off to another school here this spring. But yeah, if you're ever in need of it, man, they're open 7 days a week. Monday, all Sunday through Thursday, they're there until 9 o'clock at night. Thursday and Friday, they close at 5. But definitely give them a call, for all your service needs. If you need a rental truck or a trailer, if you're looking to get into the full service lease game, definitely, you're from around that central Montana area, around Billings, give them a call. Same day service on, probably 85% of the service work they do. You're not going to find that at any of the dealers, even around Billings. It's like everywhere else. You take your truck to a dealer, you're at their mercy for however long they want to hold you captive in their lot. But anyway, I'm going to throw up a couple pictures at the end of this too with that. But drivers, man, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much again for your support and your kind words. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, smash that notification bell. Make sure you get notified when I put up new videos, and hopefully, like this one here, it's going to be a little more informative and a little more formal. But man, again, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are great. The whole industry is great. I love this business. I'm very passionate about it, if you can't tell. I love trucks and trucking and the entire industry, even the issues that we have, man. I just absolutely think it's the best industry to be in as far as I'm concerned, regardless of what part you're in, whether you're a mechanic, a driver, a warehouse worker, you work for, say, maybe a freight company or something, or office, all the way from billing and payroll to accounts receivable, whatever, the safety guys. I love this business. I think the trucking industry is great. It has its flaws, like everything else does, but it's great. So anyway, drivers, again, be safe out there, man, especially where the roads are getting kind of crappy. There's a lot of storms moving across right now. Today is the 7th of January, 2024. Be safe out there. Keep the shiny side up, greasy side down. We'll catch you on the flip side, man. See ya.